Hi, I'm Jen Ziegler, and I'm a real estate agent in Kitchener-Waterloo with RE/MAX Real Estate Center. One of the common questions that people want to know is, what are the costs associated with buying a house? So often people have been working in their field, have been saving away, and they're like, okay, how much is this going to cost me? So in Ontario, in order to buy a house, the deposit you typically would need to have is 5% of the purchase price. That being said, if you do anything less than 20% as a down payment, which most do, don't worry, most do, there is a CMHC, which is an insurance premium that will then get added on to the top of your sale price. So if you're putting 5% down, just know that there will be a 3.5% increase added on to the total amount of your mortgage. So that's not an upfront fee, but that is tied into the end. So keep that in mind. Other costs that you need to have: a home inspection. A home inspection is great to have. We always recommend having one, especially if you're buying your first home. It breaks down all the major elements of the property. You're going to learn about, is the furnace in good shape, assuming it has a furnace, and isn't a different heat source. Is the roof in good shape? Is the foundation in good shape? Is there water coming into the basement? Are the bathrooms all functioning? Is the kitchen sink leaking? Is there concerns for building or water issues outside? Any issues with any of the major components? Is the deck up to code? These are all things that can come out of a home inspection that make it invaluable to you, because it's great to sort of know the standing of a house and what you're going to spend on a house. With the amount of money you're going to spend on a house, you want to make sure that it's a good one. Other costs that you have in Ontario is a land transfer tax. So when you're buying, you have a land transfer tax that you'll pay on the purchase price of your property. So if you're a first-time home buyer, currently in 2019, first-time home buyers can get a $4,000 credit if you're buying a first home. So if you Google land transfer calculator, that will give you a good gauge of what that cost is going to be. So if you're going to buy a house at $400,000, it will give you a breakdown because it is broken into different amounts. It will show you what it's going to cost you. If you're a first-time home buyer in Ontario, deduct that $4,000 so that you know what you're going to be paying. Also, if you're in Toronto, they have an extra tax that gets added on as well for land transfers. So keep that in mind so you sort of know what those fees are. The other fee that you have when you're buying is you're going to have lawyer's fees. So you'll work with your real estate agent to help you find a house, walk you through the offer process. Once everything is finalized and you have a firm offer and you know that this is your house, you start planning your housewarming party, you also need to connect with a lawyer. So the lawyer will search title, make sure there's no liens against the property, make sure there's no concerns, and will also handle dealing with their real estate lawyer to make sure that everything closes well, and that you can take over ownership on your closing day. So that will cost you anywhere from about $1,500 to $3,000. So keep that in mind when you're running your numbers as to what you need to have. So if you're looking to buy a $300,000 house, for 5% down is going to be $15,000. Plus you're factoring in your land transfer and your closing costs. You want to have probably around $22,000 set aside. There's also little things, setting up your hydro, setting up your water. Sometimes they'll require a deposit. You want to keep a little bit of a buffer so that there's no surprises on closing. So those are my tips for what it's going to cost you to get into your house. And I know it's scary. I know it feels like a lot of money, but you also have to remember, if you're renting, you're probably going to be paying that kind of money except to somebody else's mortgage. So it's always a smart idea to make your own investment to get into your first house. It's so smart long term, and I completely recommend it. And so this is just a little tool to help you figure out some of the numbers. So again, I'm Jen Ziegler, and remember, always follow your heart in real estate. And if you ever have any questions or concerns or want to learn about the market in Kitchener-Waterloo, shoot me an email.